Hi guys, Squirrel here, and welcome to another Transport Fever 2 video. Really hope you're enjoying the series. It looks like you are. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, if you want to see the rest of the Let's Play series as we work our way to $1 billion and connect all the cities on this map. It is a custom map playthrough with some mods, and the collection is all detailed in the video description. If you want to play along or have a go yourself, feel free. Looks like you guys are learning lots from this series, and I'm really enjoying it as well. So it's all win-win as far as I can tell. Now, in the last video, we kind of expanded some stuff and we put in some high-speed train routes. We got some fast food going between here. So down, if we just zoom in, where's the trains gone? There they are. These things here. We stuck in some lovely high-speed trains on this route because the demand was just so great, and we are killing it with the profit on that line. Look at that, like nearly $10 million income in that quarter. That's amazing. So if we just look at the balance now, obviously we're losing on the buses, but you know, we know that's going to happen. But we're winning big. We're winning big on the fast food. Look at this, $15.7 million on that train line alone, which is absolutely staggering. But we need to progress. Now, we have a lot of money, right? We have $328 million, which is a lot of money. So I've kind of slowed the speed of it now, the pace of it, because obviously if we just whisk our way through this, then time flies by, the money piles up, and we're not really getting enough done. In the early days, you know, we need to speed things up because we need to do more stuff. Just to waste time so that we get some more money coming in. But now we don't have that problem, so we can afford the luxury of just slowing things down a little bit so that time doesn't go as quickly, and spending some of that money and growing the cities before, you know, time accelerates away from us. But just as an aid memoir, if you like, we are running it on half speed. So if you click on that, you can slow the progression of time down. And I run it on half. I find that works best. Anyway, what are we going to do today? What I want to do is I want to start expanding now into and growing more cities. We've got a lot of stuff on the map here that we have just not even looked at yet. We have sat in the northeast corner of the map and we're doing really well. Like, let's not, you know, make any qualms here. We are doing really well, but we need to start expanding. So I've had a look around the map, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to work on these two cities. So this is Aylsham and Princess Risborough, and the reason I want to work on those is because they both require food, if you look at that. So I figure if we can get food into these two cities, we can start growing them. Also, just quickly looking at the connection between them, we can see there's a little bit of traffic going between them. Not a huge amount, but it wouldn't hurt to have, you know, an improved road network between those two. So if we can get food in there and improve the road network, we can also consider a bus route around them and a bus route between them. So that's those two. Moving over to this side of the map, there's not much going on down in this corner, but if we just focus our attention here for a second, Hyde and Twickenham and Henley-on-Thames, can you see something in common about those three cities? Hopefully you spotted it. That little red brick there, construction materials. If you click on it and hover, construction material. So they all need construction material, which is pretty cool. So then you start thinking, well, where do we get construction material from? And you can see, well, right outside here, there's a materials plant. And this is a modded materials plant, so it has a variety of income. But the way this reads is quite simply this. It requires stone. If you put one stone in there and one of any of these three, so this is this, or this, or this. That the bar is an or. So that, or that, or that, plus a stone will give you two materials. That's one way of making them. There's certainly nothing wrong with that. However, there are other easy ways of doing it. There's also this one, for example, which just requires stone to make materials. And the materials are a fair bit out of town and quite a way away from these two. Interestingly, there's also one up here, a materials plant, which requires stone. So then you start thinking, well, okay, where do I get the stone from? So if you click on supplies, you'll see there are 3 quarries on the map, which is this one, and this one. So the RNG gods are mocking us, they're laughing at us, and every stone on the map is here. This isn't, you know, it sometimes happens, sometimes they're spread out really far. It just so happens that on this random generation, we've got all the stone in one area. So, with that in mind, we could just take it straight here and make bricks and then truck them into Hyde and truck them into Twickenham. Yep, that would work. That will definitely grow those cities. Will it make us a lot of money? Not really. Why? Well, because we're just probably going to truck that to here and truck that to there. And trucks are great, but it's not going to scale massively. Remember, this game is not necessarily about what makes sense. It's what makes you the most profit. And with that in mind, it would make better financial sense to bring the stone all the way down here, make it into brick, and then bring it all the way back again. Why? Because the game pays you for moving material around. So whilst we could take the stone and take it to here and drop it here, that's not very far. So we don't get paid a huge amount for that. What we can do is put, say, a train station here somewhere, get that stone, train it all the way down here, make it into construction materials, and then train it all the way back again. And if we do that, we'll get paid quite nicely because we've taken it a long way. So why not? Why not do that? And then we'll just truck it into town. Same thing. And it also has the added advantage that if we're making materials down here, later on we can then have a separate train line that just takes material there. So we can feed all three cities. So that's what we'll do on that side of the fence. And then obviously we've got these two cities here. And then that brings me to one last point. I want to bring Bradford-on-Avon online. And Bradford-on-Avon requires fuel. Okay, well, we are making fuel. We're making fuel not far away, just here. And if we click on the refinery, you can see we're kind of struggling a little bit for demand, right? So if we want to get some demand up, why not just start moving it into Bradford-on-Avon? Why not just start growing that city? We're already trucking stuff to Lee, so we've got a high-speed road now. Why not just, branch the road off there, bring it down to here, and truck some fuel down there? We could train it, absolutely, but we might as well just truck it for now. If you have a look at the transport network as well, you can see that, there is private traffic traveling between Bradford and Lee. So if we was to make that a high-speed road and then maybe just bypass Lee there and grab fuel, we can start growing the city. We can put a bus network on there, and then we can put a bus network between that and Lee. So it's all win-win. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna quickly do this, and then I'll show you what I've done, and then we'll tackle the food problem, because the food problem is quite interesting. Here we go. I've done a bit of work on Bradford, as you can tell. So there's Bradford to Lee, and you can see that little windy road's gone, and we've been replaced by this lovely high-speed road here with some bus lanes, which will enable our buses and trucks to move through, no problem at all. I've added a truck depot here and a bus depot here, and then what I've done is I've put some bus stops around, and I've created a bus route from our bus station all the way around, just 4 stops there, and then another bus route between Lee and Upper Bradford, and making sure that they go on different platforms at the bus stations. As you can see, there's now 3 going through there. I might have to make that a bit bigger. I don't know. It depends how big the queues get. So all we need to do now is just add some buses on this. So we'll do by vehicle, passenger, and... oh, that's just 50 Ks now. Nice. Okay, so we'll have these... actually, capacity 10. Yeah, let's just have 5 of these, 1 for each stop. We'll put them on the inner line here on Bradford buses. And then we'll buy some more high speeds, and we'll have... let's start off with 6, and then we'll put them on the bus route between Lee and Bradford. And that should start that people moving around, so we should start to see some movement here on the public transport. And it'll also just help to grow those cities. So the last thing I need to do now is basically add a road, a sort of a bypass road. So what we'll do is we want a non-town version, so we want one of these. Be on a bus lane, yes we do. And we effectively want to stay out of town. We just kind of build, we don't want to cramp the town too much, but we do need it to be a shorter path. Otherwise the AI will possibly avoid taking it. So we get it out of town like this. Again, if we need to later, we can always make this... actually, we don't need to pause that. We can always make this into a train run at some point if we need to. There we go. The only thing to watch out for is at some point... can you do it? Yeah, there we go. So I can't remember what year this unlocks. It might be about 1950 or so. But what you can do, you can come to the road and come to tools, click on traffic light, and then you can effectively turn the traffic lights off, which sounds mad, but it does actually speed things up in certain instances. So if you see a lot of people, a lot of trucks just waiting needlessly at a station, which doesn't need to have light, like that's a classic example. Just get rid of them. It sometimes works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. You'll just have to pay attention to what is working and what isn't. Sometimes the traffic lights can actually help. I mean, we all know what traffic lights are like, right? But, you know, play it by ear. You don't get the tool initially. There are some other ones as well, but you don't get that tool initially, update the traffic lights, but I do have it now. So what we need to do is get some fuel drops from here. Now, we could use this, but it's pointless. We may as well have them going straight into town. So what we'll do is we'll get a truck unload stop, which is one of these. We'll look for where the fuel is, which is here. So if you imagine the trucks coming this way, they'll probably come down there, and then anywhere here will hit that fuel sector. So maybe like there as a truck drop, and that will hit those fuel people. Remember, it has to drop in the right area. So if you dropped over here, it wouldn't hit that fuel demand. And we can kind of expect the fuel sector to grow over here, so we may have to move that later. So what we'll do is we'll have some trucks coming out of here. Now, this as a pickup point needs to expand. We're already using both platforms, and we don't want to have another queue that's contending with the ones that are already there. So we'll add another line like that, and we'll drop that in. We'll drop in an access road. Let's see if we come off there. Oh, so let's do that. Off here maybe? No. Okay, apparently that works, and then we'll add a waypoint in like this. That will give us another waiting zone. So then what we'll do is we have a look at what the orange one's doing, Rumsey Fuels. It currently comes into here and it waits for 120 seconds. That's fine. So we'll take that line there. I think this is was it called Bradford, I think? I can't remember now. I think it's Bradford we're going to. Bradford Fuel. Let me just quickly zoom out. Yes, Bradford. Bradford Fuel. So we'll colour it maybe... what have we not used? Okay. I'd like to use orange or red for fuel, but we'll just have to do that for now. So we'll go to here, Romsey South, and you can wait for a full load for 120 seconds. Actually, no, we'll let them wait for 3 minutes because it is a long journey, and we don't really want to do that empty. And then we'll have them drop there, like that. Now, that's not the best way out, is it? Like looping back like that. It's not ideal. Ideally, you'd kind of want them to come this way. So what I might do is just quickly add a waypoint here and make them go, after Richmond, just go via that waypoint. Just to keep things on the high speed. It's a shorter route, which is why the AI wants to do that, but it'll just get clogged up in town. It's better to get back on the high-speed bus lane roads if possible. Just looking at the way it comes in, so it's going to come in through this tunnel and go all the way around here, which is not really optimal. Ideally, we'd want a connection between those two. Can we make it happen? That's the question. Because we do need, I think that road connection has to stay. And the tunnel there, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Alternatively, we could make a shortcut there. That's possibly the easiest way out of this. Also, let's just quickly get rid of those traffic lights. So what I'll do is I'll add a high-speed connection between those two. We'll make it a fast one like that. We'll go like this. There you go. That should help the routing a bit. There we go. That's better. So now they're only having to go through that bit, which is much quicker. Last thing to fix is obviously the platform that it's coming to in Romsey South is rubbish because it always defaults the wrong way. And also, we want it to go to that waypoint there. Okay. I've put the entrance in the wrong place. Let me just configure this. We need to get rid of that entrance and put the entrance here instead. And of course, now the game... This is something you have to watch out for, okay? There's only one way to fix this. I'll show you how. If we add the entrance now, it will automatically join it to this entrance here, and we kind of don't want that. So we need to pause it. Remember, this has got a waypoint on it, because you have to put that back in a second. So what we need to do is delete that, and then put that in so it's not joined up, and then put the road network back. It's a little bit backward in that regard, but that's just the way it is. So if we come like this and then build like that. Okay, it's trying to do it straight. We'll do it curved. Like that. There you go. And then we just need to put our waypoint back here, our waypoint back here, and then reconfigure the line. That is unfortunately the only way to fix that problem. So we go to Romsey there, and then after Romsey, New Street, so we come to here, I think it is. That fixes that one. And then Bradford Fuel, you can come into here, and that fixes that one. Sometimes you just have to get involved manually and put the waypoints down and tell the AI what really makes sense. But anyway, all we need to do now is throw some fuel trucks on that line. We can unpause it now. So we're going to go cargo. We're going to find that truck there will do, because we're only transporting fuel. Yep, that one. So we'll put like 8 on. It'll take a bit of while for the demand to pick up, but we've got loads of money, so we don't care. It'll save us having to remember coming back later. And we'll do Bradford Fuel. Let me just double check that weight was set correctly. I believe it was. Yep. And then the final thing to check is click on this and look for the consumers and see if Bradford appears as a consumer. Yes, it does. It's shipping stuff to it, which means stuff will start appearing on this platform shortly. And Bradford will start to receive some fuel, which pushes the demand up on this here. So now that will go into the up arrow zone. And hey presto, that's how you level up a refinery. Just increase the demand on it. The only thing to watch for is obviously if that's going to need more oil. And the oil is dictated by the crude that's being brought in and what's being turned over here. That shipment demand you can expect to start to rise because it takes all of its oil, right? So that's going to go up, which means the crude it needs is going to go up. And as you can see, we're already not moving enough crude. And there's trains coming in and out of this thing pretty rapidly. The frequency on the line is, if we look at the Romsey crude line, frequency is 100 seconds. It could be quicker, but don't forget it's got to load and unload as well. But I reckon we can get another train on that line. We could put higher speed stuff on it, but for now I'm just going to add one more train. I think it can cope with 4. If not, we'll have to reconfigure for faster, higher capacity trains. But for now, I want to focus our attention on the other things that I talked about. I'm going to do... This one is slightly more complicated, and we may end up doing this in the next episode, because this one is going to involve ships. And you're probably looking at me right now, wait, what? Ships? You must be joking me. Trust me, it will. What I want to do now is tackle this one here, the construction material, because I want to start growing these 2 very small towns. And this is the other reason to start doing this now, is if you start thinking about passengers, right? It's no good if you're just developing all your cities up in one corner. I mean, that's fine. It works financially. But if you want to start making killer money later, that involves high-speed transport. So I'm talking high-speed trains, I'm talking passenger jets, and for that you need a long-distance run, yeah? So if you've got all these, nicely developed cities up here, all weighing in at like almost 1,000, 1,100, 800, and then over on the other side of the map, you've got like 200, you've got 280 there, it's no good. You want to develop these now so that later on you've got a big distance to move people between, and you'll get great money. So that's another reason we want to build these things up. So let's start having a look at what we want to do. Ignore that. That's a marble. That's a marble. We don't want to do marble. We've got stone here. We know the 3 stone quarries are right here. So given that I want to take this down to this area here, and the other thing I want to check is what the consist looks like. Let me pick a train depot a second. I want to see what the consist looks like on the wagons for cargo. So let's see. Construction materials are going to be moved in a flat car, and then annoyingly, stone is going to be moved in a gondola. Now, what that means is we can't really have a train that does both. If we was moving marble, we can move marble and stone on the same place. Marble and construction materials on the same place. Because remember, some of these construction material factories, let me find one quickly for you. There you go. Like some of these here, they take marble in as well as stone, but they take marble in and construction material out. So if you was to bring marble in on a train, you could use the same car to bring marble in as you're using to take material out, and that's going to be a very profitable line. But when you're bringing the stone in, you can't use the same car on the train to take the materials out because one's a gondola and one's a flat car. So that presents a slight issue in what we're doing because we're only moving stone down to here in a gondola, and then the train is effectively going to run back empty. The alternative, now given this is 1-to-1, so the alternative is to run a split train. So half your cars are stone, gondolas, and half your cars are flat cars. There is no right way of doing this. Your train is only ever going to be half full on the way down and half full on the way back, as opposed to full on the way down and empty on the way back. It's the same thing. It's just a different way of doing it, right? Pays your money, takes your choice. Do whichever you think fits best. The only thing to bear in mind is that later on we're going to want stone from here. So what I'll probably do, and also we might want to have a train line. Actually, we don't want to have a train line down here, do we? We might want to have a passenger run between these at some point. So what I'll probably want to do is have our train station here, actually within catchment here, and then run it down the left side of here, and possibly later we'll use the same track to move stone from there to there once demand picks up. So with that in mind, we're going to go station, building, we're going to have a cargo station. We will go, on this I'm going to go 320 meters because we're starting to get later now. We've got the money and we're getting later in the years, so it means we can have more powerful trains that can take larger amounts of stuff. So it kind of starts to make sense now to do this. Also, when we bring the materials back and drop it here, we want to drop it on a different platform. So we need to have 2 tracks so that we can come back onto a different platform so we're not interfering with the loading of the stone. And also we'll probably need to put a cargo thing on the other side so we can truck it from that side and truck it from this side, if that makes sense. But what I want to do is get rid of this road because we are certainly going to need... We don't need a road to move the stone, but we do need a road to move the material when it comes back into Twickenham. So we're kind of going to have... Let's just draw it out quickly. We're going to have let's say a large country road with a bus lane. We need to connect into that like this. So we just need to have some form of connection, maybe like that will do. So like that, and then we'll curve it away and take it down towards Twickenham. We'll figure that out in a minute where the drop-off's going to be. And then maybe we want to expand it here and put the sort of truck pickup. Again, there's a million ways of doing this. I'm just showing you one way of doing this. Do it however you want. So we're going to spin that around. Now, this is going to be a pickup of construction materials. So there will need to be a bit of a queue here. So we need to have a sizable platform. We should only need 1 platform, really, but I'll leave it as 2 for now. So we get rid of the entrance. We'll build out the cargo like that. Don't need to do this, but we'll do it anyway. So just have a long one on each side. Cargo entrance will go there. Cargo exit will go like that. And then go to the street, get the one way. Connect that through like this. And then connect the exit like that. Then go to tools, traffic lights, get rid of that. It's absolutely no use. And that will do us for a pickup point. Click on it, double check it's in catchment. And now we can put the train line in. So go to train line, 2 tracks, 320 meters. We'll spin it around like that. And again, as long as we put it down here, it'll be perfectly in catchment like that. Boom, done. And remember I said to you we want to kind of pick up on that side. We can just use this if we want. In fact, you know what? We'll not bother to put another truck depot on this side. We'll just reuse this road. I'll branch it off like that. The danger is if you want to bring a train through here later, this road's going to get in the way, but we can just reconfigure the road to go underneath. What's this? Mercedes-Benz passenger bus and a NOHAB. That's a nice locomotive. 120k locomotive. I think it's a diesel electric if I remember, so that's a pretty powerful loco right there, which is pretty tasty if we need to move some heavy stuff. So yeah, there's lots of ways we can reconfigure that later. I think we'll just do it as it is for now. So we've got the station there. We know we want the track to come this way. So we'll do... We don't need a high-speed track for what we're doing. We're just going to scoot past here. Like that. So we'll bring that into a curve. Like so. And then we shall drag that into there. That should now be connected. Perfect. So we've got a double track. And then we want to get to down here. So what I like to do is I like to come down and put the station down first, and then I know where I want to go. So this is where we want to be. We don't need to have these roads, so we can just remove them. There's no point intersecting track with road if you don't need to. So we'll drop that in like that. Again, you don't need to delete these if you don't want to, but cosmetically, I'd prefer to just get rid of them now. Buildings, how many do we need? Probably 2, because later on, if we're going to have a couple of different... In fact, you know what? We probably need more. We need at least 3. Let's go 4 on this. And the reason I'm having 4 is because I know we're going to have 2 stone lines at some point coming in, and we may want to have another Conmat train going out to Henley, so we're better off just building big now. Again, we've got the money. Once you've got the money, you can start to build ahead of time a little bit better. I'm noticing elevation's a bit of an issue around here. There's no point doing that and sinking down to that road's level. It's better off... We're better off trying to be level with the ground on the way in. So what we'll do is we'll go to Flatten Tool. And we'll make the brush size big. We'll kind of take a level. If you go to layers and then you go to contour lines, you can kind of see what's going on. It's not the best contour tool. I think Skylines does it better. But you can see the elevation changes here. There's definitely a gradient on that track. I can see already that we're kind of plowing through. So just bear that in mind. We're going to tunnel through there probably. We'll probably come down through that road there. We want to be about here. So there is a contour line there. Between these 2 lines, there's definitely a flat area. So if we say, you know, something like that is where we want our track to go, then we get rid of this. What we're left is something that looks entirely artificial, but we'll fix that in a second. Then we can drop this train station in. Shift N just to rotate a small amount. And we can drop it in like that. And then we can proceed to click on the smooth tool. And we'll just smooth that out. Just so it doesn't look nasty. There we go. But it keeps things nice and flat. And then the last thing to do, of course, is we need to make sure these roads are connected. So just use a small road like that. It literally doesn't matter what size the road is. As long as this is connected and within distance of that, which it is, then it's fine. It will activate it. Now, bear in mind that the inside track is probably going to go to Henley later. So it's better to use the outside tracks for where we're going now. So we'll grab hold of the track. We'll put it on parallel, yes. We shall click on that one. And we'll start off by just dropping in our first section like that. That looks good. We will need to, obviously, diamond interchange this so that they can switch track if they want or need to, depending on the platform we send them into. And then we're going to proceed through this section here. We're going to have to get to there. You know what? I might build this road again because I can see it elevating and undulating. If you build track in sections, it will follow the gradient from start to end. So if you do like that, it will go from here to here, and whatever height that's at and whatever height that's at, it'll make it work. So obviously, if I drag a section of track that distance, what it'll do is you can see it elevating this, whereas because I did it in 2 sections, it's gone up and then gone down, which is not what I want because we're going to be moving a lot of pretty heavy materials. So I'd rather spend the money, have it landscape the ground for us, and keep that track as flat as possible so that we don't slow the train down. It's essentially more investment in the track, but every single journey you make will financially benefit from it because it's not having to slow the train down. So always think about that. The worst ones are effectively when you're going between, say, you know, here and there, because that's quite a hilly area. So if you don't do this, if you sort of build it like that in two pieces, you'll go up the hill, down the hill, and you really don't want that. So let's think about this. We're going to have to punch our way through there. So what I want to do is we'll use our landscaping tool just to make sure that we keep things as flat as we can all the way through here. You can already see the elevation. Look at that. Blimey. That's a heck of an elevation change. So that's already telling me that the ground is going right up here, and quite possibly it's coming back down again there. So what if, and this is what I'm going to try something now. I'm going to just put the one piece of track down like that. And then if we grab hold of this and then we try and bring it through to here, what does it look like? So obviously it's going to punch into a tunnel here. That looks quite cool. We can probably landscape this and make something funky out of it. That's going to stay tunneled all the way through. And then it's going to go underneath this mine, which is brilliant. It keeps the line straight. And then it's going to come out here. I think that's a goer. For 7.5 million, I'm more than happy with that. Let's see if it puts that second track down. Don't think it is going to do, you know. No, it's not. It doesn't. That mod only goes so far. If I turn that off now, parallel tracks, if I turn that off and just build that second line, once it starts going through tunnels and stuff. There we go. Right, so we've tunneled all the way under the map, but we've kept a very flat section of track. However, the price is that the map now looks a bit weird and very man-made, but we'll fix that now. Okay, so we'll put that in. What I'll do is try and make this look a bit more natural, and it is going to cost a bit of money, but what I'll do, I'll take the flatten tool. We'll start with put your mouse cursor on this flat bit, and we'll just kind of sculpt that out. Maybe we'll just sort of sculpt that out here, and we'll have it just kind of spread out, a bit like a hand, I guess. And then we'll sort of start to level this stuff out. So it makes it almost look like the mine was built on a hill. But I guess what you're kind of looking for is a bit of natural blend. Obviously, depends how bothered you are by this stuff. But I was just thinking it would be nice to have a little bit of a cliff edge going on, like that. You know, little cliff edges if you just punch through there. Look at that. It's kind of different. Let's just get that flat bit there. Quite an interesting looking entrance as you come through. You know, you can play around with this. It costs you money, but you bring the strength down as well. If you want to make it look different, just play around with these different brushes and things like that. Let's put the brush size back up. You know, you can take scars out the landscape like this, and then just smooth it over a bit later. Depends what style you're going for. You can make it look worn and scratched, and just try and make it look, I guess, not man-made. That's what you're really after. Add a bit of randomness, and then nobody will really know that you've been in there with your brush. There you go. So you've got some strange hills. You know, I can bring the strength down. You get the idea. Sort of flatten this out a little bit. Just lower the ground down. Strength back up. Smooth it out. Job's a good one. We could faff around with that. Anyway, if we get up here, smooth that out there. And again, you could also cosmetically put some trees here and things, which I may do at some point. It's under the paint tools. If you come into here, if you want to make it look even more natural, where's the hang on a second, assets, that's the one. This here, and then you can go brush size, maybe bring the strength like that. You can start putting some trees along here, you know, just sort of obfuscate what you've done. Just make it look a bit more, you know, like you can actually paint an entire forest and it kind of hides things. So yeah, you can kind of do it that way, just to get rid of stuff, just to hide things out like that. If I can remember how you remove stuff, there's a miscellaneous, there we go. So then you just go like this, just to remove trees from the actual track. And, you know, it starts to look a bit more natural, doesn't it? It depends how much you want to play with it. Right, let's get back to business. Just got sidetracked completely. Let's put the track diamond in so that we can switch over if we need to. We need to think about the depot as well. And we need to think about the delivery. So what we'll do is we'll put the depot outside here. That, because nobody cares about this bit out here. And then we'll bring the track in. And we'll branch off like that. We'll do the signal in a minute. We're all done. Again, we'll just go to terrain tools and just smooth that out a touch, just to make it look a bit more natural. We'll do the signals in a second, but what we've got now is the ability to bring stone from here, turn it into construction materials, bring it back, drop it off. They're all connected, so that will appear here. And then what we need is a way of getting it into, say, Twickenham and the other town. So if we go to buildings, truck unload, we can see that where we need to be is probably somewhere around about here. Would actually cater for that nicely. So if we say, let's bring it in, yeah, about there-ish. Should do it. So I'll unload there, which means I'm now thinking, let's use this road. So we'll bring that up to, let's say, curl it around that. Now, is this a connected road? No. No, it's not. So we can just get rid of that road entirely. So what we'll do is we'll delete this, because this is just an industrial connection. And we will instead, if we now flick from being a country road to being an actual street, we can drag it like this, and then we'll upgrade that bit there, like that. And that will give us a way into here, but obviously the city can actually build here if it wants to, so it'll branch out later. And then the trucks will go through and drop there. We'll have to upgrade those roads at some point. We'll have to put a bus network in, but that will get them going. Let's go and find an equal thing over here. Remember, we did want to upgrade the road between these two as well. So we can do that. Actually, we can probably branch this road off there and upgrade that section. Let's do that. Let's turn the road that way. Let's kill two birds with one stone. So if we go, say, off like that, and then we bring the road around like this, we'll build it to like there, and then this road here will also then branch off. If I can get it to behave for 1 second. This road will branch off like this, and it will come in to about there, like that. This will be the new replacement high-speed road work, if you like. Now we just need to think about where we want to go. So if we have a look under truck unload, so our road comes in through here, but we actually want to unload there. So what I would propose to do is change the entrance of our road to here, just to accommodate what we're trying to do. It practically doesn't matter. We might have a road there anyway and connect another one. But we want to be dropping off probably like there-ish, just to hit those construction material demand. So what we'll do is we'll go back to streets. We'll build a bigger street coming in like that. Allow them to build on it. We'll upgrade that bit there. And then we'll flick back to the country road. And we'll take the country road like this. We'll get rid of this stuff. And then we're going to have to pause it while we do this bit, because this bit's going to break the actual city link when we delete this road here, which is why it complains. And it's better to just pause it while you do this kind of invasive stuff. That way the town planners don't get really upset with you. So we'll do that. We'll get rid of all this road here. We don't do any of that. We could have just left that, but whatever. I'm going to have to delete all this now, guys. Look. I can't leave it. I can't leave it. I've got to delete it. There we go. Right. Let's get the road, and we'll bring that down. Whatever, if we actually connected it, we'll bring that down like this. And it will pop through to there, and this one will join like that. Do we want to upgrade that road? Well, if we do, we want to make it a street. So we need to go to the street tool and see how damaging that would be. 9 buildings removed. That's pretty invasive right now. Let's just go for 6 being moved. That's much less invasive. When you're dealing with a very small town like this, you know, I'm always a little bit careful because, like, later on, I'm just getting rid of the bus lane. Later on, it won't matter. We can get rid of, you know, cities, and they'll grow back very quickly. We can just get rid of entire houses and stacks of apartments, and they'll grow back very quickly. But in the early days, when they're so very small, you need to just be careful with that stuff. We'll get rid of the stops here and here, and here, and then finally, we've just got to bring this road in. So I'm just going to delete this section of road here. Come on, game. Autosave is great. Autosave will absolutely save you at some point, but it's so annoying when it happens. Right, we'll delete that, and then we'll have a street, which is large and has a bus lane. And we'll kind of curl it out like that. And we'll upgrade just a little bit there. And it only move it, it won't delete it, so that's fine. And then we should be able to unpause it, but it's not happy about something. Worthing and Twickenham. Oh, hang on, I think I've just broken something. Twickenham, where's Worthing? Twickenham's there. Worthing is there. Ah! Okay, so that, yeah, okay, that's fine. I didn't realise that road actually carried on. I thought it was only going to here. So we'll put another country road. I might as well make it a country road. There's no point doing anything else. Worthing and Twickenham. So that was here, wasn't it? We'll build it out like this. Why not? They can have a free upgrade. Construction not possible. That's interesting. Okay. Well, we'll trash that. That, and we'll delete all the way up to the bridge, and then we'll give them a nice... Oh, that's why there was a massive terrain difference. Look, that's crazy. That's absolutely bonkers. I'm just going to build that there, and then we'll do that. I think that looks nicer. No more errors, so we'll unpause it, and we now have our connection. So right now, all we need to do, we've got our bus stops. We just need to get some kind of a depot going. So we'll build a depot that will serve these towns. Anywhere here will do. They can all come out of there. We've got our depot. Just need to define the lines. So we're just going to focus on the stone delivery initially, and then we're good to go. So I'll quickly do that, and I'll show you what I've done. Okie doke. Right, I've put all the signaling on the track, and I've defined a couple of lines here. So we've got a Henley con mat, which is this one here, that goes to this depot, goes to this sort of station, and it takes things over to that bus stop there. You can see the route that it's taken. It goes in on that high-speed road, and then goes out on the other high-speed road, which is fine. Not a problem. Twickenham, same thing. We've got a route to drop us off there. I had to waypoint them in. I had to add an extra road here and waypoint this in just to keep them on separate platforms. Because remember, they're gonna sit here and wait for stuff to happen. They're on the way in right now. There's like 6 of them on each line just to get it all going. The next thing to do is obviously get stone down to here and then construction materials back there. So then we come into a choice of train, and this is what I want to show you what happens when you enter the diesel era. So at the moment, we don't have much in the way of... Well, we do have some electric locomotives. They're pretty expensive for what they are. If you look at the top speed, the highest speed one is 125 Ks. And that's effectively for passengers. Like the tractive effort's not great. 1.1 million is just about the cheapest here, isn't it? Apart from the crocodile bit, only goes 75. So not fantastic. If you go down the steam road, remember we put the Class A4 in last time for that food drop-off, and that was 1.2 million. It goes 145 with a tractive of 158. 158, remember that. If we now go to diesel electric, bear in mind that was 1.2 million, got us 158 tractive. Now that we've got the diesel area, less than a million gets us 200 tractive with a top speed of 120, which just so happens to neatly match the cars. So, you know, this is a beautiful locomotive to get because it's not that expensive to run. It has a heck of a pulling power and it will get to that 120 fairly quickly. So we're going to use one of these. We're going to stick in a bunch of gondolas because we're going to take that stone down there. So we need these gondolas. For that, just make sure, yep, stone has a loading speed of ×3, which is a pretty decent loading speed. The real question is, like, well, how many do we add? Well, we can always add more later, but if we just chuck in, for example, what's that? Let's just chuck in 143 capacity for now. Actually, let's get rid of it. It's too much. Let's just go for 120. We can add more later. We'll buy one of them. We shall be sticking it on the Henley Stone line, which is a dark grey colour, I decided. So we'll put that onto Henley Stone 1. That should now, once that's leaving, that should start to activate this as a consumer. There you go. So it's already now allocating stone for Henley-on-Thames construction factory, which is this one, the material plant. And the last thing we need to do then is build another train. I'm just going to speed up time for you a second. Oh, look, typically it goes to the wrong place first. Hello. Yeah, you will run out the way. Don't run into the train, bro. What are you doing? You mad bear. Oh, it died. I think it got splattered. Anyway, we could build a train now, but it's kind of not worth it because, well, this has got to go all the way back up there, then all the way back down again and get the stone. But we've got the money. You know, we've got 264 million. We've spent a lot of money, but that's fine. We've done a lot of stuff. We want to get another diesel electric, and then we want flat cars for this. Now, it is a one-to-one mapping between the stone and the construction materials, so in theory we want to have the same amount of stuff here, which will be, I think that's how much we just did. And then we want the dark red colour like that, and we put it on Henley Combat like that. And that should now, hopefully, start to see Twickenham as a consumer. However, because it can't ship anything yet, it can't allocate anything there yet, so we're not entirely sure what it's doing. But just before this arrives, I want to see how much stone there is available. There's 43 when this is inbound. We'll take a ride on the train in a second, and then we'll have to end this episode, I'm afraid. But this train goes in a tunnel an awful lot, but you'll see, even when it loads up, it'll hit 120 very quickly. All these trucks here are costing us money right now because there's just nothing to do. Let's just have a look at it. There you go. Fills up with a lot of stone. 65, it's not bad. The line is set to wait though, isn't it? If I remember, we set the line to wait for a little bit. Yeah, 60 seconds. Nothing too arduous. So it will set off shortly. There it goes. And if you click that first person view, you can see it's flying down the track. Now the other train will be coming the other way. Oh, look at that entrance. That is... Oh, I'm going to have to fix that. That's terrible. The game does that sometimes. I'm going to have to fix that tunnel entrance because it looks horrendous. But the cool thing when you're in first person view is you can see the signalling working. And you can also see how flat the track is. What's interesting though is it's not getting to 120 quite as quickly as I thought it would. But it's almost there. This is some high speed stone right here. Later on when the demand's there, we're going to add a ton more cars on this line. There's the other one. That's the flat car train. And again, this like the tunnel entrance is broken there too. We'll just need to disconnect the track and reconnect it again. Let's pop out of that view. And yeah, that's a fun thing I like, is you can just actually ride the trains coming in, which is kind of cool. Now, as soon as you're still watching the video, right, the way I see it is if you're still here watching this video, you're probably one of my awesome viewers that sticks around to the bitter end of a lot of these videos that I make. So, you guys can be the first ones to find out about something, because I've just activated YouTube memberships on the channel, which is basically just a way, if you want to, you can chuck over a few quid or a few dollars just to support what I do. And in return, you get a nice badge next to your name. You get some custom emojis that you can use when you're posting in comments. And also, if you want, you can access a fully moderated, family-friendly Discord server that I have, which has been running for a while now. Previously, this stuff was only available to my Twitch subscribers, but over the years, I've had a lot of people ask me, can you please do something for us on YouTube? You know, we don't watch Twitch, we can't watch on Twitch, time zones don't match, all this kind of thing. So here it is. The easy way to join, if you look on my channel, you'll now see a join button, and you can basically subscribe there, and you'll get instant access to all the emojis and the sub badge. And if you want to, you can join the Discord server and come and chat over there. In the Discord server, we have lots of like information, lots of friendly people. I mean, really friendly people who are interested in simulation stuff, basically the same stuff you're into. They share a lot of information with each other. It also posts any videos I post will go there. If I go live on Twitch, it'll post it there. So yeah, it's fine, absolutely fine if it's of no interest to you. But you know, if it is and you want to help support me, feel free, go and check it out. But no pressure at all, guys. Don't ever think there's some pressure here. There's not. Anyway, that is it for this video. We have now done quite a bit today, if you think about it. We've now got Hyde and Twickenham, hopefully going to be growing real soon. We've improved the road network between them as well, and we should start to make some money on that. We'll review it in the next episode. We've also discussed connecting these two with food. We'll do that in the next episode. And we've improved the situation down at Bradford, which is now getting some fuel, finally, which has boosted growth quite nicely. And we've also got a bus network, which I don't know how well it's doing, but not very well by the look of it. But it is, the goal is to improve the size of the city and get it ready for mass transportation later. I suspect this thing is now, oh my God, that was here, wasn't it? That's almost completely maxed out. That's nuts. That's actually nuts. And we've got a lot of trucks here that are moving Bradford fuel. I don't think there's anywhere near enough trucks for that line. So I'm instantly going to double those to 16 because that's a heck of a demand. Yeah, and we just need to review this. Oh, now I'm moving all of that. That's worked beautifully. So this game sucks me, and it really does. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Let me know what you think about the series, etc. in the comments section. And in the next video, we're going to develop these two, and we'll also review what we just did over on the stone combat line. Thanks for your support. Take care, guys. See you soon. Happy transporting.